what do you reckon it would be like? She goes, oh, g'day, mate. How's it?
Welcome to the podcast. This is Not For Radio. We are your hosts, Duncan High, Jay Reeve, and you are a bloody sniper, and we appreciate you for choosing us. And if you're just climbing in for the first one for the week, this is a goodie.
It starts slow, not going to lie. Fuck, it ends pretty quick. Pretty hectically.
We're going to need to bleep Jay a couple of times, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I reckon Showboss T
Well, it
saying...
starts with C and ends with UNT. You said it 3 times. We stopped saying that. And then the American... You know what? We stopped saying that, and then the American audience went through the roof. You know how many American stories we've had since you stopped saying that? It's really offensive to them.
It is.
Not to us.
It's just such part of my, repertoire. Anywho, best places to fart. There's a good feeling about this. They're very, very good.
Yeah.
We asked the question, if your genitals were to have a voice, what would that voice be?
Yeah, have a think about that. We'll let you know what we thought a little bit later on in the podcast. We've also got a great prank from one of the Kiwi rock bands that's about to head out on the road. An amazing message from a former cop in Ireland.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you very much.
What a Kiwi connection too.
Yeah, Judith Lyons, thank you so much for sending that through. And you can send through voice memos as well. And we mentioned it in the pod. Just where you're listening to the pod, what you're up to, and what you like to do for a bit of fun. Like, what is your idea of fun? You've got 3 days to do fuck all. What are you going to do with that?
All the links you need for anything are inside the episode notes to this episode, including you can jump on YouTube now. All the YouTube videos are going up there. They're starting to pop off, which is mean. Also, as well, if you do want to support us, best way, hands down, is nice and easy, is to subscribe. Less than $1 a month. Ad-free, unlocks 250 episodes as well. So get amongst that. Enjoy the podcast. We've got 2 ripping war stories to start.
I like the shambles.
Snipers, reload. Another war story incoming. Eyes on target, scopes dialed in. Let's see who hits the mark.
That gives me a bit of PTSD, and I've never even served.
Well, because we call even our listeners snipers. I felt like it needed to be military themed.
Fair enough. I'm into it. This is under the category of dogs can be dicks, and it's from Anonymous. I've had this story banked up for a while, and finally think it's time that it's seeing the light of day.
Yes!
This is a story of how my mother found out her son had misplaced his V-cards. Back when I was a young buck, I finally worked out what the thing between my legs was actually for. I took a young lass home and did the dance with no pants while my parents were out. Putting all the school sex education lessons to good use and being safe, I finished up, took the old Joey off, tied the end off, wrapped it in some shitter paper and flicked it in the bin on my way past. They returned back to my day as normal. I came home later that night, beaming from ear to ear, as every 17-year-old would be after the day that he'd just had. I noticed that the same bin had been tipped over. I thought nothing of it. Picked up the contents, carried on with my day as per usual. Fast forward a couple of days and there was a shout from Mum, followed by a disgruntled call of my name. Turns out the family Jack Russell had done a little bit of fucking dumpster diving and managed to find the old franger in the bin, gobbled it down, and didn't quite have the power to push the whole thing through.
Oh, no. No. Is he going to have to pull start the dog?
What a fucking horrible dog. Anyway, Mum had been walking past at the same time as the dog was popping a squat and decided that the small pooch needed some help and gave it a gentle tug, not realising what she was pulling on.
Oh, yes.
Fuck, that is grim.
Yes. What are the chances? First time getting his end away, and this is the deck of cards he's been
Jack
dealt.
Russell eats it. That was when I showed up, saw the panic in me poor mother's eyes and realised exactly what had happened. This was followed by, at least I know you're being safe, and a very red face on my behalf. Rule of thumb, fellas, throw your connies in a wheelie bin on the way past, or better yet, get good at pulling out. Go long, keep it deep, up the waz.
Or better yet, use a marginal method that may end you up having a kid.
I remember vividly as like a 17, I think is quite late to be losing your virginity as well. Average age around here, 14. Teague's 12. Shocking, I know. But
That's a fucking lie.
but there's none of that. Like, by that time, you're not really getting any of that sex education. There's fucking zero chance. You can go and get condoms, but they're mainly for, most people just get them, the free ones, and do nangs with them instead of fucking using for what they're intended for. And
There's always a rumor of someone like having a hookup or going to like family planning and finding out you can get the flavoured ones. Be like, oh shit, you got one of those flavoured ones, boy?
you like it's going to increase your chances of fucking getting your dick sucked.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
So you can get, you get like, I remember it when they gave them out. It was like you got a prescription for 300 condoms. And you turn up and it's
that's
like
how much they look at you and they go, there's no fucking chance we want that guy having a kid. He looks like a terrible dad. Give him 1,000.
Yeah, just fuck radio, mate. That's what you want to do. Chuck 6 on at a time. And so you'd have all these condoms, but you never take them out with you. I remember seeing it on movies, like Americans would always have like a condom in their wallets. Like, who the fuck has got a condom in their wallet?
Which seems like a dumb idea until you're randy as and you picked up a bird at the bar and then you're fucking going straight to the toilet to see if you've got one of those kooky condom machines and they don't. And you're like, man, I wish I was American.
Yeah. So I've never actually seen somebody in the wild feeding a coin into one of those machines, hey?
I did. I saw it at the RSA. He was about 75 too.
Oh, what a fucking legend.
Awesome, mate.
But even that, it was the chat. It's like, doesn't matter. As long as you pull out, you're sweet. And then you learn when you're going through the whole process of getting somebody pregnant and trying for kids. It's the fucking second you chuck your dick in, it's that pre-cum that is the most fucking
Potent.
virile.
Yeah.
That's the fucking bit. That's the bit that gets the get around, I get around, look who's talking fucking opening scene happening, you know?
The wee whoopsie daisy.
Attention, snipers! Gear up and hold your positions. It's time to load up some war stories. Your tales from the front line, brought to life. Prepare to fire.
Jay Combs from London. Thanks, mate. Oh, by the way, as well, if you're new to the podcast, welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Because there'd be some people that'll listen to all 500. There'd be some people this is the very first episode they've ever listened to.
Wow.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Great to have you with us.
We are weirdos.
Yeah, well, we aren't. We're reading some really interesting chat from some very spectacular humans.
Hi, guys. Your show is the highlight of my day, and I have a workplace injury to tell you about. It all starts with a job that needed to be done in a certain amount of time, which was a pretty short deadline. It was replacing white rock sheeting in the kitchens of student accommodation blocks in Kingston University in London. The company sent me 5 Russian carpenters, of which only one spoke a lick of English. No problem, I thought. I can tell one, and he can explain to the others. So first thing I did was take the English speaker around to the fuse board and show him which fuses to disable before removing any of the material and replacing it with new. I showed him the socket fuse and the kitchen main loop. Both had to be disabled because of integrated appliances, etc. I went off to another apartment to start work, only to get a phone call about 30 minutes later from the translator. It didn't sound serious because there was no real panic, just asking me to come around. Perhaps they need some advice, I thought. So I started to work my way around the block to where I left them and entered the kitchen. Upon arriving at the kitchen door, I see one sitting in a chair with an odd look on his face and his legs were shaking. This looked a bit worrying, so I approached the translator and said, "What's up with this fella? Is everything okay?" He said his friend had a bit of a shock off the electrics. Now, bear in mind, he's translating me, so the guy is explaining to him at the same time. It's amazing how foreign language can be learned. It's how much foreign language can be learned in such a small time. As the guy's explaining the situation, the one who was in the chair started to make some gestures and reenact the problem. The guy forgot to turn the main loop fuse off and was clambering around the cooker hood and his zip button on his jeans. Touched the live wire, and as I crawled out of the kitchen in tears of laughter, I left the sight of him translating the actions as well as the words. I could feel the electricity pumping through my cock. Apparently had an erection for almost 3 days solid.
That's what happens, eh?
In more ways than one, I almost broke my insides from laughing so much. Over the course of getting to know them, I was told he has a bit of a history with the electricity and managed to shock himself with an electric fishing pole once while in a lake. What?
An electric fishing bowl.
I guess it must be a deep lake. Is it one of the ones that have, wind in themselves? Press the button?
True, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I wish you guys well and keep up the great work. Regards, Jay.
man. Getting shocked on the dick would suck.
Ceasefire, snipers! Today's top marksman has been selected. The war story of the day goes to...
I like to think the translator dude, if he was the boss, they would have sent him home to put the thing to good use. That would be leading from the front.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon endless erection from not disconnecting power or pulling a used condom out of a dog's ass?
It's got to be the first one, right?
Okay.
Just because, like, he's gone from complete elation to seeing his mum pull a condom out of his dog's ass with his jizz in it. That is a fucking real turn on a day that should just be nothing but good news.
Plot twist, he used protection while fucking his dog. It's convenient get out of jail free story. The dog must have eaten it. Okay, mate.
Oh, man.
There was a bloke, maybe his brother works here, so we'll keep, this is a free one, so we'll kind of keep it a bit spare. Anyway, he works in the super yacht industry and had to go and clean out some, part of it, he services the macerators within toilets. So basically on super yachts, when you take a shit, they just fucking go through like a blender and blends it all up, so then it can probably be pumped out at some stage or more than likely just discharged in the water as they're travelling along. And one of these things jammed up anyway. So the chick, the wife of the owner was there basically running the protocol on the cleanup sort of thing. So he went in there, ripped this thing apart, and he's like, well, here's the problem. There's fucking condoms galore that have fucking jammed this thing up. She's like, well, that's fucking a bit weird, isn't it? He goes, not really. It happens all the time. People get on these boats, they get a bit fucking randy. And she's like, well, this isn't like a hire boat. This is a private boat. And he's like, well, that's weird. And she goes, well, my husband and I don't use condoms. And he was like, oh, okay. And he reckons that she was standing there with this fucking startled look in her face like, that's fucking strange. And then boom, penny dropped. And she just went fucking 0 to 100. Obviously, there's cameras on these boats as well, heaps of them for insurance purposes of things that go on when they're cross-passaging and that. Anyway, so fucking straight into the place where she pulls him up, and sure enough, he'd been fucking tapping his fucking front desk girl from work on their super yacht during the daytime, popping down for a little bit of lunch, if you will.
How to downsize your boat?
Yeah,
real quick.
That's now called hers.
Shit, that's such a blowout, eh?
Yeah, I want to change. I just want to change the boat's name to You Silly.
Got a message here from Judith Lyons.
Hello, fellas. I'm calling from Northern Ireland. A few weeks ago, I had a very strange experience where I got involved in a David Lomas Investigates program.
Oh, wow.
I was amazed in my little County Tyrone village when he walked into a room where I was speaking to two Kiwis about tracing their family tree. I went, "You're bloody David Lomas." And he said, "How the hell do you know me?" And I said, "I watch you on the internet all the time." Anyway, we got chatting and I was telling him that I was in the sniper elite. And he said, all right. Him and his cameraman actually said, update us on your knowledge of New Zealand current affairs. And I said, no bloody way, because those pair will not give you any freaking current affairs or anything sensible to listen to. But I absolutely love Jay and Dunc. Every day you have me in stitches. I am a retired policewoman, mature, and I still have that flippin' sixth sense of humour. So thank the Lord for yous up the waz.
Up the waz!
That is fucking magic.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
one of the best messages we've ever
I
had.
love that. Man, the voice memo functionality, just like
The best.
It's so good. Like, I encourage you to I find it so fascinating where people are listening to the podcast from. Like, that's one of the weirdest things about it. We've been doing radio for the fucking best part of 20 odd years or whatever, and someone comes up to you and they're like, "Oh man, I listen to your radio show and I live in like Whited Upper." You're like, "Man, that's crazy. Whoa." And then someone's like, "I'm listening to you in Zimbabwe on a fucking hunting lodge." You're like,
Yeah.
Jesus, see Christ.
Yeah, and also worth mentioning as well, like, if you want to send us a voice memo, it doesn't need to be anything amazing. Don't feel like it needs to be like how all of our stories are written. Like, it could just be like, fuck, lads, had a big night last night. How you going?
Yeah, just like who you are, where you are, and what you do for fun would be awesome.
Yeah. Is there a part 2 to that message? Great.
Oh, yeah, and I should actually add that I'm actually going to be on the David Lomas programme next week in New Zealand. Actually completely confused how I ended up on it, but anyway, I'm there. Bye.
Okay, a little bit of context around David Lomas. So he basically, it's called Missing Pieces, and he'll find missing family members, and he goes all over the globe for it. And
like family members that have been separated,
estranged, or like maybe dad was here during the war and then buggered off back to where he's originally from or whatever, but didn't know he ended up having kids, or just reuniting people basically. It's a hell of a heartwarming TV show, and you just. The bit I find tough, and it absolutely ruins Dixie because Dixie's adopted, but the bit I find tough is you watch them and they're elated and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they realise how much time they've missed out on.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, you don't get that time back. They've got to work extra hard to, like, you know, form a relationship and, like, fast forward.
Yeah. SJ, Sean Johnson, rugby league player here, did this deal with him with... was it the Lao national carrier, I think it was. Oh, no, it was Singapore Airlines, sorry. And flew him back because his mum is from Laos and she escaped with his older brother in a fucking weaved basket across the river into Vietnam whilst getting shot at. Like,
what?
Yeah, like wild shit. And then ended up going into Thailand, I think. And in Thailand, that's where she met Sean's dad. And then he brought her back out here, and then they had, extended their family from there. And so she'd never been back. From the time that she fucked off across the river, had never been back. Had kind of been in contact loosely, but was kind of unfamiliar, like direct family members. But if you were to look at what your relation circles look like, say, for example, you might stay in touch with your mum and dad, but then it's like your real tight mates that you haven't really been able to keep in touch with. And then your next door neighbours that you haven't seen up next to, whatever. Anyway, so that's they went back and they took over the film crew. The guy that does all the filming with Joe Parker went over with him because he's just amazing, and they shot this kind of semi-documentary. And she was kind of remembering the streets to go down, and then you watch it all sort of fall into place, and then someone's yelling out like, it can't be you, and oh my God, and then they get dragged to these houses and they're fucking putting these meals on and sitting down and having cups of tea and crying and going through all of this, like, we thought you were dead, and it was a real gnarly time. And then that's when Shawnee got, like, it's all fucking well and good to travel around the world playing rugby league and earning heaps of cash, and it's like, that would not have fucking happened if she didn't make it across that river.
That's
like,
so weird.
Yeah, and then for those people, like, to see it all, and this is not like in the 30s. This is in the fucking. This is in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it was a watch, but it's a great watch.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. That'll come up if you Google Sean
Yeah,
Johnson.
I'll try and put it into the show notes for you so you can check it out.
Hello, champions. Cool. You are listening to Not For Radio.
This one here, I just saw that the boys from Villainy, Devilskin, New Zealand bands, and Midwave Breaks are heading to Invercargill to play first show tonight on the tour. And they jumped up on their Air New Zealand flight and they did a broadcast and was like, hi folks, just your attention for a few minutes please, we've got a very special guest on board. Neil Fraser's having his stag do this weekend, so the boys fucking stitched him up. So we've got a special certificate and it's called the official Lolly Runner certificate, so we've written it out for him, and they made Neil, who's the lead singer of Villainy, under the pretense of it being a stag do, walk the fucking aisle handing out the lollies on the plane.
He would have hated that too.
Oh yeah.
That's extra funny.
For a frontman, he hates the attention, eh?
Yeah. He's like, and a lot of them are like that. Like, they're just really reserved and put them up in front of the crowd. You go, whoa, where did that come from?
So that was very well done.
Yeah, that's good play. Devilskin will be horrifically hungover, you'd imagine, after picking up People's Choice Awards at our National Music Awards last night.
And amazing. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, special mention to darts as well. Just a little message. If you miss me. It's from our. Is it from? Oh, so it's from the If You Miss Me Facebook page. Is that what that is? I didn't put it in there.
I don't know.
Okay. Marry a man with a provider mindset. Not.
This is okay. Carry on.
Am I allowed to read this?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how it goes. I've heard something similar to this before.
Okay.
Go.
Has this something that hasn't aged well?
I don't know. That's why I'm going to let you read it. Go.
This is from Facebook.
There it is, a little bit of arm's length.
Marry a man with a provider mindset, not necessarily a rich man, but one who is responsible and knows how to lead. A man who will make sure your needs are met without you having to beg or remind him. A man who shows up because he wants to, not because you had to ask him. He doesn't need millions in the bank, but he needs the kind of character that makes you feel safe emotionally and mentally. The kind of man who steps up for you and keeps his word. A man who carries a sense of responsibility for the woman he loves.
Okay, I'll stop you there. It's completely different to the one that I heard. My wife's old boss told her to get a man with a provider mindset, which is basically just always wants to make heaps and heaps of cash, and then you can fucking fill in the rest of the gaps for them. So this is completely different.
Okay.
This actually sounds quite nice and prophetic.
Because a man who truly provides doesn't just pay bills, he brings you peace. He protects your heart, he respects your mind, he considers your emotions, he listens, he values, he stays consistent. You never have to second guess where you stand with him because his actions are loud, even when his words are few. Emotional maturity is far more valuable than wealth. A man who is emotionally grounded will create a space where you can breathe, where you feel heard and understood, where love isn't a battlefield but a sanctuary. You deserve a man to take care of your soul, not just your lifestyle, one who gives you effort, not excuses, time, not silence, consistency, not confusion. The right man won't just provide you with things, he'll provide you with peace, presence, and protection, and that's worth everything.
Does that ring any bells for you, Teagues? Is that what you're looking for in a man?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, guys, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I wasn't really listening.
I think everyone is. I mean, these days, there's a lot of education pieces from just everyday people who are going viral on TikTok and stuff of exposing how they fell into traps with the wrong people. And I think that that's a really good thing that there are people out there, just everyday people talking about that stuff. I feel like even in schools now, allegedly, because I'm not in school anymore, they try and have a bit of education piece where they can when they're doing those sex talks about here's a good relationship, here's a not so good relationship. So that just sort of sounds like something everyone should want, you know?
Would you don't consider yourself would you tick all those boxes, you reckon?
Quite a few, but not all of them.
Yeah. Well, but with the intention of ticking all
Totally.
those things.
Like
Yeah.
that, it resonates with me.
Yeah.
Like and especially the bit where, I don't go out of my way to say, and I don't think our whole family does nice words to Dixie, but it's almost unsaid,
Yeah.
and it's like and it's through actions and behaviour more.
Yeah, that's the love language thing, eh? And once you figure out how that, once you actually,
So my love language is touch,
yeah,
and Dixie's is what's her one? Whose is the shittest one?
service, acts of service.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
So that's like for Dixie to like even remotely think about wanting to, like get some action or whatever. It's like stuff that pleases Dixie is like a clean house, fucking full tank of gas in the car, like the washing's done.
Yeah.
Which I go, oh, fuck that off to the side. It's just going out.
Let's
But it's
pump.
just that the brains work differently.
Totally.
And then when because you can pump it into Chat GPT or whatever, and you can say, what are the trait of your partner, and it will tell you. And then it also makes you understand them a little bit better, like what makes them tick, because just because it doesn't matter to you doesn't mean it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, and you figure even if you've been in a relationship for a long time, you're like, fucking surely we must have figured each other out by now. It's all those little bits and pieces that actually make a massive difference. That emotional support or practical advice, there was
One of the greatest.
yeah, fuck, it's such an absolute, because you can just call it straight, and which is almost a practical solution to an emotional situation as
Totally.
well, which is how.
Explain it again, because
Yeah.
that was a long time ago,
Yeah.
and it a couple of hundred ago.
Yeah, so basically, we had, it was Richie Hardcore that was having the conversation with us, I'm pretty
It
sure.
was.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, so we were both, and this is quite a while ago. This was up at the old building, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Possibly.
Yeah, okay.
And we were talking about how we always have, not always, but there would be differences. Say, for example, Dunc came to me and was like, the lads are all, there's like 3 of the lads have gone off on this fucking weird little meth habit that they've got, and they're getting a bit weird. Another guy's fucking gambling and is in a little bit of trouble, and then one of the other boys is playing up on his missus. So when he says that to me, and you're probably doing it right now as I'm saying it, you're like, fuck the three methies, boom, boot him to touch. Tell him, boys, this is the line, you're fucking past it, and don't come back until you've come on the other side of that. The guy that's got a bit of a gambling problem or whatever it is, you'll probably pull him in a little bit closer and go, look, if things keep heading the way they're going, then you're probably going to lose your house, your missus, your kids, and everything that goes with it. And then the bloke that's playing up on his missus, you go, mate, you make me look like a shit as well in front of my missus if this ever comes out. So don't, hold yourself to a higher standard, respect your missus, and don't do that. That's how guys work.
Well, and guys want to fix.
Yeah, that's what
and
we
they
do.
go, we need to put an end to this. This is bad behaviour. We need to fix it. And
Yeah.
what's the quickest solution? And if that requires a stern, straight up the middle word, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then you move on.
Yeah, and so that would be the vice versa advice that we would probably give each other, like something similar to that anyway. Whereas when a girl comes, like when my wife at the time she was having this fucking chaotic friend group, or I wouldn't say they're friends, but it was this group of women that she was hanging out with. And it was pandemonium. And she'd come back and she'd be trying to fix all of their problems, and then they'd fucking say something and do something, and this person hated this person, behind their back they did this, and then fuck this person's husband and this, or there was all chaos. And she was telling me this, and I was like, rightio, straight back into that mode. I was like, boot that bitch to touch, tell her to fucking pull her head and stop fucking this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, you're not fucking listening to me. I'm like, pretty sure I got it crystal clear. That bitch is fucking around this and the other. She's not listening to me. I was like, I am listening. You just fucking settle this shit. And she's like, you're not listening. You're telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's because I'm listening. That's how I show you I'm listening. I'm coming up with a solution. And Richie was really good. He goes, I was the exact same with his partner. And so he would say, at the beginning of these conversations, do you want practical advice or emotional support? Practical advice is what we do. We just lay it down. Here's a roadmap to sorting the situation. Emotional support, shut the fuck up, nod your head, give them a hug.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Listen.
Just don't talk. Listen. And so that was a game changer for me. So I often open those conversations like that because I'm pretty good at giving advice. My fucking citizen's advice, bro, here.
Warning, this podcast may cause unintentional projectile shitting. Not for radio, with Jay and Dunc.
I'm hijacking this bit here. As we were going to bed the other night, it's been quite funny in bed lately. Normally the bed's quite a sexy time for us, but it's been quite funny. Last night we wrestled because Anna thinks that she's stronger than me. And so she was like, if I can squeeze your nuts, that means that I win. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to use my full force. I'm basically in a defense mode the whole time. And so we wrestled all over the fucking bed. Shit just went everywhere. It was pretty chaotic. Looked like a fight. If the kids came in, they would have been fucking horrified anyway. Both in the nude. It was pretty crazy. It's real Roman time shit, Anyway, so we're laughing about that. And then a few nights prior to that, I walked out of the shower and she said, what do you reckon that your dick's voice would sound like if it had a voice? And I was like, I fucking don't know. So I turned around, I looked into the mirror and I was like, fuck, I don't know. What do you reckon it would be like? She goes, oh, g'day, mate. I was like, fucking... It's good from you. She goes, what are you
You're like, oh, that's sweet. I thought it would have been a bit more like,
yeah.
yo.
Yeah. I thought I'd have fucking Roger's voice from the Morning Rumble. Yeah. G'day, guys. How's it fucking going?
Nah, I reckon yours would be more like this. Kang, 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 kang. It's got one word vocab.
Just a seagull. She goes,
Up to, kang, kang.
She goes, what do you reckon my downstairs operation would, what the voice of mine would be?
Oh, this is dangerous.
I
What'd you
know,
say?
exactly.
Did you play it? I wouldn't have played it.
100%. I just fucking met her at the net and was like, fluffer and fucking face, guys. Is that fucking two can play that game, bitch? Yeah. So yeah, that's why we wrestled last night. She's trying to assert her authority back on me. But if, once again, I'm 42 and I've never even had, I would have had a billion things run through my mind. And never, ever, ever once have I thought about what would yours sound like. I'm asking the same
I've got
for
the
you,
Looney
Teagues.
Tunes in my head now. Somebody's like,
Teagues.
that's all, folks.
That's all, folks. Showboss Teagues, what are you running?
I really don't know.
If you were to have a celebrity voice be the voice of your vagina, what would it be? Who would your celebrity voice be? Andy Dufresne.
I'm trying to think of female celebrities.
Oh my gosh.
Tom Hardy.
Oh,
It's a good voice.
That would
Bags
be-
it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Because he's fucking rough, but he's slick, you know?
Well, you can have a
reckon yours-
British cock.
Well, no,
I
but
reckon
was
it would
that a
be more
voice?
like David Beckham's.
Good day, guys. How's it going? I've seen him when he come in, eh? That is not indicative of David Beckham's voice at all.
You can come back to us in his
Yeah, I need
podcast
to
if you
come
want,
back.
Teagues.
Yeah. I need
Okay.
to Google some people.
This is best places to fart. And I'm going to start with Stuart Burns' message. I'll start on this one. I used to work in a control room at a nuclear installation, and there was an airlock for entering and exiting the room, shift handovers, and just before the break was a good time to drop one in there. Good start. Bevan Thomas, movie theatre, when it goes quiet.
The leaning back on a plastic chair in a class was fucking great, eh?
That's from Ike. Wife's car. Get out, lock the door, and let it fester overnight. It'll be right when she gets in the morning.
Maddie Hoyes, as a teacher, beside the fucking naughty kids when they're sitting down, it's called crop dusting.
Yes, Matt Farrelly. My old workmate used to eat bananas and drink protein shakes most days when we're on day shift, and he had the rankest farts that I've ever smelt when he let them go in an almost soundproof control room. Near killed me a couple of times. Mark Maroney. Escalator.
Just travels like a full waft, eh?
Yeah, and just no effort for the crop dust as well.
James Barton, wow now. I had a few beers and a kebab and was happily fast asleep. Allegedly, I let off the most obnoxious fart imaginable. Unfortunately for the missus, she has a CPAP machine pumping fresh air into her face and was awoken by the fruits of my labour blasting directly into her nose and mouth. For a second or two, she didn't know what was going on. Thought someone had shat in her mouth. Then panic set in as she tried to wrestle off the headgear whilst retching uncontrollably.
Oh my god.
Upon releasing herself, she unwittingly also released the Dutch oven and was bathed in a full extent of my efforts, causing more dry reaching. I found her asleep on the sofa in the morning when she promptly called me a fucking dog. So there you go. Someone's CPAP is a cracking place.
Oh my god.
There's a compilation of people farting into those inflatable costumes.
Yes.
Shit, that's good.
Yeah, it's one of the greats. I'm going to finish on this one from Steve Main. This is a long one, but it's pretty good. As a pilot, I didn't want to fart in the flight deck, so I was holding it in until we went out for a toilet break. My co-pilot beat me to it, and she said he was heading out for a coffee. Back in those days, we didn't need two people up front at all times. Hey. And so I thought I would have a few minutes to let the butt cheeks do the talking with no audience. As he left, I heard the door slam behind him. Then I released the most powerful poop puff I've ever had. Even in the noisy cockpit, I heard it loud and clear. Then the smell. We were returning from a layover in India where I'd obviously eaten something rotten. I contemplated putting on my oxygen mask to get some fresh air, but then I was interrupted by a knock at the door. It was a sweet young lady who was our head of cabin crew. I couldn't do anything but let her in. It was only a few seconds since I'd released my green cloud of curry butt juice fermentation. I don't know what came over me, but as she closed the door behind her, I asked, "Did you smell smoke?" She took a big investigative sniff, followed instantly by a tonsil rattling retch. We didn't see her much after that.
I would have thrown old mate under the bus and be like, sorry, old mate just shat himself in here and he's had to
Yeah,
go climb
hard
himself
out.
up in the toilets.
Hey, you want me to open the window? She's a bit smelly in here. Well,
I
I think we'll come back to that because I've got that many to go.
yeah. Could I go one more?
Okay.
This one. On a nightclub dance floor. This is from Trav Ross. On a nightclub dance floor, weave it through the crowd, then stand back and watch people blaming each other.
Great fart. Great option.
Oh, well done. Radio, to wrap it all up, Showboss Teagues.
Yes.
I've got 2 options.
Oh,
Okay.
let me guess. Is it either Martha Stewart or...
No.
Okay.
I thought Jennifer Aniston
Oh, yeah.
or Pink.
Oh, yeah.
She's kind of got a bit of like a bogan
Yeah, I can Pink.
drawl.
Nice and husky, too.
Pink for the pink bits makes sense.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
What did you go with? You wanted Morgan Freeman.
No, I wanted that's
that's
all, folks.
Porky Pig. Fucking
They got,
highbrow.
they got some rogue speech impediments in the Looney Tunes, eh? Pretty much all of them have.
Well, and now that would be called inclusiveness, you know? They probably were just ahead of their time.
Yeah, for a while, it would have just been called mean.
Yeah. Well, it went funny, then it went mean,
Yeah.
and now it's inclusive.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we got
The
there.
natural progression of not changing a fucking thing, but just putting a different label on it.
What did you want to finish on?
My pussy.
Oh. And on that note, have a great weekend. This has been Not For Radio.
Fucking Showboss Teagues MVP on a Friday. You've been drinking.
Not yet.
Amazing. A reminder, if you would like to support us, best way is to subscribe. Unlocks about another 250 episodes. You get them ad free as well. And we're also on YouTube. That's ticking along nicely. If you haven't joined the Sniper's Nightmare Facebook page, that's where all the bants goes on about the podcast and various other pieces of gold.
And we've re-upped the Not For Radio sunglasses. Got 50 pairs now. So for those people that were asking, there you go. Fucking tuck
I'm
on in.
going to get another pair.
I have to get another pair because I've lost mine.
Great.
Hey, I did find your other ones. Though.
Did you?
Yeah.
The tortoiseshell ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, where were they?
In the car.
Oh, yeah. So there's going to be something more exciting, like up my bum. Okay. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. We bloody appreciate
Long
you.
live the king. It's the king's birthday weekend over here, so we've got a 3-dayer.
Yeah, we just put it wherever we want. We're pretty
Yeah.
rogue. I don't think we listen that much to the Commonwealth anymore.
No, it's not much. I don't actually think it's his birthday.
It's
Fuck,
not.
it'd be pretty mad if he just got to party every single day. Someone in the Commonwealth celebrated his birthday.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's like being a royal.
Yeah.
You just do whatever the fuck you want all the time.
Sick.
Nah, that's a lie. I've seen The Crown. It looks fucking hard work.
I've seen it. I've seen a made-up TV show. Fuck, it looks
Mate,
freaking-
well, it is. It's based on true events. A lot of very factual things in there. Fuck, it was a huge show. Have you seen it?
What was the one? Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it. What's the one where the lady goes over to Russia? It's fucking hilarious. That's where Huzzah
Huzzah.
comes from. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get the
Is
name
it?
of that.
The Great.
Yes. Yeah, there's something else after it, I think.
Catherine.
The Great something.
Okay. Anywho, shit chat. Apologies. Have a great weekend.
That's what it's all about. Go well, go long.
Up the fucking wires.